So you can always repurpose, recycle, reuse, and especially in our world today, looking at landfill use and sustainability and climate change, we really need to use what we have.
I'm here at St. Anthony Falls, which has held religious and economic significance for thousands of years here in the Twin Cities. Thousands of years ago, we couldn't imagine that this or any of the Twin Cities would be what it is. But one thing that's so critical when it comes to solutions is imagining what's possible. Today I'm talking with Jan Hagerman, who's the manager at the Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity Restore, who's using her own skills, her own imagination, and her own do-it-herself attitude to make a difference. Thank you so much for being here and for us doing this and everything. And I just want to ask, as we start out, who are you?
Well, I am Jan Hagerman. I am a mom. I am a textile artist. I am a lover of nature. I am a wealth of useless information, a font of wonderful information that is helpful to somebody at some point in my day. Mm-hmm. I love knowledge. I have been a sponge all my life and I absorb it. The difference between a left-hand swing and a right-hand swing door. Some doors open this way, some doors open this way.
Yeah.
I can tell you how to know which is left and which is right. If you put alum in your pickles when you are canning pickles, they will not get mushy and brown.
Well, it makes life better to be someone who can consume knowledge and take it in and be a sponge. Where does that mentality, or where does that I really come from?
I am of a generation where my parents were growing up in the Depression. And pre-World War II, you had to make do with what you had. You reused what you had because buying a new one sometimes wasn't an option, whether it be financially or it just didn't exist. My mother was also a teacher of many different genres, arts and crafts. She was an amazing artist. I'm very fortunate that when I look at my hand, I can see my mom.
Oh my gosh.
She was a teacher of ceramics and floral arranging and so many other mediums. She was an artist who's like, hey, I'm gonna try this. Unfortunately, she would try something, she'd figure it out, she'd get good at it, and she'd move on to the next thing.
Right.
She was severely bipolar, and that really also made me who I am. She wasn't always available to be the mom she wanted to be or that I needed. I had to figure out things for myself. So that's given me my independent attitude and my, I can do that. At her memorial service, it was mentioned that she never walked into church empty-handed. She always had something for someone. Clothes for the clothing bin, food for the food shelf, fabric for the quilting, books for the nursery, but she never left carrying anything. She never left empty-handed, though. What she got was way more than what she gave. And that sense of service and giving of oneself has always stuck with me. If she were here today, she would just be watching and going, yeah, that's my girl.
Yeah. One question I have is, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
And I had a great uncle Walt. He was kind of a crass old guy with a cigar in his mouth, and he owned a junk store. And it was like this treasure trove. Whenever we'd go to visit him, you'd go around a corner and there's a box, and you never knew what you would find in that box. I wanted to own a junk store.
Yeah.
And guess what? I run, not a junk store,
Right.
but so yeah, I kind of have come after many detours and a few roadblocks that turn into detours. I now run a store that takes other people's cast-offs. There are 2 restores here in the Twin Cities. There are about 900 around the country. The restore is the thrift store or revenue-generating arm of Habitat for Humanity. So if you think Goodwill meets Home Depot, put them together, you have a home improvement thrift store. All restores take different things. We primarily take building materials, landscaping materials, things you would use for maintenance in your home, furniture, appliances, that type of thing. Donated or purchased, what we sell funds Habitat for Humanity programs here in Minneapolis and St. Paul. We are part of Habitat for Humanity International. Our mission is to end housing poverty. Housing is an amazing thing for not just a family, but generations down the road. Generational poverty in housing is huge in the Twin Cities. Habitat builds houses, and we have homeowners who buy houses. We help about 150 families a year get housing. While Habitat's mission is our number one mission, to every one of us that works here, sustainability is just as important. We manage to keep about 4 million pounds a year out of the landfill, whether by what's donated is recycled, repurposed, sold. So yeah, 4 million pounds. Wow. 900 restores around the country. We are one of the larger ones, but so if you think about that number, it's huge. Construction and demo, or C&D waste, is one of the largest waste generators in the country, and we are always looking at ways to work with people to bring that here.
Yeah.
Don't throw it away. Those 2x4s are great, and somebody can use them. Let's not buy a new one, let's use the one we have.
What's the work that you do more specifically, Jan?
So I run the store. I help with planning out what we take, what we don't take, how much it's sold for. But the best part of my job is that I get to do a lot of DIY and repurposing. And so I get to turn old stuff into new stuff. I am a person who sees possibilities. I think everybody that knows me says, you always see possibilities. I can look at something and say, oh, this is an old rake and it's broken, but what can I make out of this rake? I'll make something out of the rake.
It's interesting because hearing the word junk, there's a certain connotation or association, and people think, trash, let's throw it out. It just belongs in the dumpster. Let's get rid of it. We don't want anything to do with it.
Trash and junk are two different things.
How do you look at junk and how do you look at trash, and what's the difference? Because for a lot of people, probably including me, like I just see them as synonyms.
Sure. Junk is something that can be reused, repurposed, recycled. I am a great upcycler. Upcycle is one of those newer words in our vernacular that still doesn't have a concrete definition.
Right.
Turn something old into something new. Recycle is take the can, crush it, turn it into more aluminum cans.
Yeah.
Upcycle is, hey, this rake, I'm gonna make it a Christmas tree. A rake is not a Christmas tree.
Right.
So we can make a Christmas tree out of it. Is that broken rake trash? It is if you throw it in the landfill.
Right.
Is it junk? Yes, because it doesn't serve its original function. I can turn this junk into something new.
Yeah, and that's powerful, and it's important because I think it's easy to take for granted what other people know, or what other people think, or what other people want to learn. And so by just sharing and being an educator, whether that's formally or informally, we're able to help other people grow and learn and benefit, and you never really know the ripple effect.
Paying it forward is a huge part of who I am. You never know what that ripple effect is going to be. If I'm having a bad day, but you know what, I'm going to let that person in front of me in line go ahead. What is the effect that ripple is going to have? I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I don't need to know, I just know that there's going to be a ripple.
Locally and nationally, even globally, I'm wondering, how could people support and be part of the work that's happening with Habitat for Humanity and with Restore?
Oh, there are so many levels. Here at Restore, we say shop, donate, volunteer. You can shop here.
Yeah.
The monies go to programs. You can donate here. If you are at all concerned about our world and the environment, don't throw it in the landfill. If it's still decent, donate it, whether it be to the Restore or to another organization. Donate, or donate financially if you don't have things to donate. And lastly, volunteer.
Yeah.
Give of yourself. You're going to learn things about yourself. You're going to learn skills you are going to give of yourself, and man,
Yeah.
giving's better than receiving. But what you receive when you volunteer is as great as what you give.
Is there advice that you'd have for your younger self?
You know, I've always believed that your passion is your passion. It's not somebody else's passion, and it's not their job to tell you how you should navigate your passion. If I wanted to go back to school to become an electrician, why not? I don't know anything about electricity, but I have a passion for it. Don't tell me I can't do that. Whatever you do it well. It doesn't matter if you're an electrician or you run a restore or you're trying to fight climate change or you're a barista. If you're going to be that, do it well, love what you do, and do what you love. Hi, my name is Jan Hagerman. I am the manager of Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity Restore. I'm helping the world reach drawdown by keeping 4 million pounds of stuff out of the landfill every year.